Well, it doesn't take much for us to think about our bodies. We are perhaps one of the most body-conscious generations that history has ever known. Lift any magazine, watch any TV advertisement, scroll through anyone's Instagram newsfeed, and you'll be reminded of the emphasis that society places on looking a certain way. How then, in our world of increasing gym memberships and cosmetic investment, are we as Christians supposed to view our bodies? Well, over the next 4 days, we're going to see 4 different things that Paul teaches about your body. And what you discover as you analyze Paul's teaching in 1 Corinthians 6 about the body is that the Christian view of the body is totally countercultural. Because our culture tends to view our bodies in somewhat the same way as the Corinthian culture did to whom Paul was writing. Read along with me from verse 12 of 1 Corinthians 6 and notice 2 slogans that were commonplace in Corinthian culture as to how they viewed the body, particularly with relationship to sex. Here's what it says. All things are lawful for me, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be dominated by anything. Food is meant for the stomach and the stomach for food, and God will destroy both one and the other. Do you notice what the Corinthian culture thought about the body? Even this is how the Christians viewed the body. They thought effectively, verse 12, I can do whatever I want with my body. All things are lawful for me. Why? Well, according to what was said in verse 13, they thought their body was temporary. It's meaningless. It's going to be destroyed. And remember, this is written within the context of Paul rebuking sexual immorality. So what the Corinthians effectively thought was this: I can sleep with whoever I want. Sex is just like this commodity. It's kind of like the stomach's relationship with food. Just as I use food to appease my stomach's cravings, so I can use sex to appease my body's sexual cravings. And this view of the body and sex probably sounds all too familiar. See, our own culture shares a not too different view of sex and the body. But what does Paul say in response to this view of the body? Well, the first thing he says that we're going to look at this morning is this: your body is not a commodity. Rather, your body is an instrument of worship. Let's read on from the second half of verse 13. The body is not meant for sexual immorality, but for the Lord, and the Lord for the body. Paul says your body is not a commodity. Your body was created for a very specific purpose. Your body was created for worship. Or as Paul puts it here, your body was created for the Lord. You see, the imagery in the gospel is that we as the church are the bride of Christ. And so just at a wedding, as a bride would give her body away to the groom, so we, the bride of Christ, the church, we give our body to the groom, the Lord Jesus. You might find this thought unsettling or strange. You might, even if you're totally honest, find it a little bit offensive. But the truth is, it's actually liberating. It actually frees us from all the bondage we feel when it comes to our own bodies. See, when it comes to our bodies, we all, if we're honest, have insecurities. As you look in the mirror, no doubt there are countless physical characteristics that you wish you could change. My nose is too big, my eyes are the wrong colour, my face is too spotty. However, quite often when we let these things cripple us, it's due to a complete misunderstanding of what our body was created for. You see, the message of society says that our bodies ought to look a certain way so that we feel good about ourselves or we can draw the attention of others. According to the world, that's the purpose of our bodies. But the Bible teaches that viewing our bodies as a means to these ends will ultimately ruin us. It will destroy us. It will just make us filled with anxiety. But that's not what our bodies were created for. Our bodies were created for worship. You see, the way we tend to view our bodies in our society is perhaps one of the greatest examples of idolatry today. Because what do? We worship our bodies. That's why we flaunt ourselves online. That's why we feel the need to flick through 100 photos of ourselves before we can find one that we're happy enough to post. That's why we use filters. That's why we spend hundreds of pounds every single month on beauty products. Because we worship our bodies. Yet Paul would say to our culture, you've got this all wrong. Your bodies are not supposed to be worshipped. Your bodies are supposed to be the means through which you worship. Your body isn't supposed to be the object of your worship. It's supposed to be the instrument through which you worship God. So here's your challenge today. How can you use your body as a means of worshipping God? This isn't an airy-fairy idea. In fact, the Bible gives us plenty of examples as to how we can do this. Why don't you consider these few examples as to how you can use your body as a means or an instrument of worship. Paul talks about offering our hands and feet wholeheartedly to Christian service in Romans chapter 12. Or, as is emphasized here, pursuing purity in a very sexually liberal culture. Or what about not expressing dissatisfaction with your physical appearance through excessive means of body decoration and cosmetics? Or quite simply, taking adequate physical care of your body with reasonable sleep, diet and exercise. How can you use your body as an instrument of worship? Hope you have a great day.